This video will show you the step-by-step process on how to install the Sportster Treatment wiring kit on a 94 through 96 model Sportster. Start by removing seat, gas tank, battery cover, and battery. Remove your battery tray. Unbolt brake switch from frame. Pull wire loom from behind brake switch. Unbolt fuse box mount from frame. Remove main circuit breaker, blinker control module, and fuse box, then disconnect starter relay. Unplug taillight connector, then speedometer connector. Unplug and remove blinker control module. Cut wire loom, being careful not to cut the wires inside, mainly the large gauge black and red wires. Once the braided loom is cut, expose all wires inside. Disconnect tail light and brake light wires from the brake switch. Unplug cam position sensor underneath bike. You'll be left with 3 wires underneath the bike. The large red wire is the voltage regulator, and the green and tan wires are the neutral and oil indicator lights. These two can be clipped and disconnected from the bike. Now coming up the bike, the only 2 wires that are staying are the red and black wires that run to the main circuit breaker. The large red wire is the voltage regulator, and the black runs from the starter. The smaller red wire on the main circuit breaker can be clipped and capped. On opposite side of the bike, unplug starter wire. Note the clip is underneath the connector and you may need an angled pick to get to it. Going back to the other side of the bike, there's a cluster of small black wires that connect to the frame. These are ground wires for the stock harness and can be cut out. Unplug Bose sensor and disconnect coil wires. Unbolt stock key switch. Remove and unplug horn. Pull headlight lens and unplug all connectors inside. Remove handlebar controls. Clipping these connectors will help with wire removal from the headlight housing. Remove speedometer and headlight. Now unplug speedometer. The only thing plugged in now is the ignition control module, which you can now unplug. You can now remove the stock harness from the bike. Now you can install the new harness. Start by feeding the cam position sensor connector behind the primary and plug it into the cam position sensor underneath the bike. Feed green starter wire through to the opposite side of the bike. Plug in orange and white wire and red and yellow wire into brake switch. Now feed all wires behind the brake switch and run up the frame, securing with zip ties. Plug in tail light connector and try to keep all wires neat. Now plug in ignition control module and reattach fuse box mount. The ground for the Bose sensor will bolt to the top motor mount on the rear head. Now plug in Bose sensor and attach coil wires. Zip tie all wires to backbone of frame. Plug in starter connector underneath solenoid. Drill headlight brow for toggle switch. On the toggle switch, the black wire from the main harness will go on the middle terminal, and the single white and yellow wires from the kit will go on the terminals to either side. Feed the single black wire from the kit through the headlight housing and bolt to headlight mounting brow. Plug the opposite ends of the single wires from the kit to the headlight bulb. Black on the left, yellow in the middle, and white on the right. Attach red power wire to main circuit breaker with a red voltage regulator wire. Then place circuit breaker on designated mount on side of fuse box mount. Reattach brake switch to frame. Now attach wires with ring terminals to designated spot on key switch. Red goes to B terminal, orange, black, and white go to I terminal, and green goes to S terminal. You will need a slightly longer bolt, but you can now install key switch mount to primary cover and mount key switch, making sure no wires are touching the primary. Install battery tray and battery. The two remaining black wires that come off the tail light connector and ignition control module connector will go to the negative terminal on the battery. All that is left now is to install your battery cover and gas tank. Now it's ready to fire up.